Our digital data, our photographs, our emails now have a medium that matches their proliferation, a sort of perpetually changing library, the cloud. The term is ambiguous. It suggests that our digital data have become totally ephemeral, but that is not the case. The cloud does indeed have a physical location in data centers. A data center is first and foremost a stronghold, a type of safe that guarantees the security of the data it contains. Serge Abitboul from the French Institute for Research in Computer Science and Automation offers to take us around the largest European data center located in northern France. Some of the billions of digital data that transit every second over the internet are processed and stored in these rows.
This is a rack. There are hundreds of them all around us. They consist of computers and disks. This is the cloud. All the memory of companies, memories of individuals, your photographs, your emails, it's all located in racks like this somewhere on the planet in data centers.
The cloud of data centers manages our digital lives every day, including an increasingly large share of our private lives.
The memory of humanity, the memory of individuals, is to a certain extent contained in data centers. This data is extremely valuable. We can't lose it. We don't want to lose your photographs. And the only way, the method that we have now found to keep and protect your information is essentially to replicate it.
Therefore, with the data centers, our memory will always be constantly duplicated from hard drive to remain permanent.
The fact that you can take digital information and replicate it, reproduce it, typically infinitely, means that there is a small probability that an error will be introduced at some point. So the question is, we can live with a small probability, but when we reproduce and reproduce and reproduce, this small probability of error can become large over time. We have inserted correcting codes in the digital representation of data, which means that we can guarantee that a copy will always be reliable.
Every digital message recorded on any kind of medium whatsoever carries its own error-correcting codes, ensuring that the data is copied perfectly. Protected in this way, a file can be replicated indefinitely, on-site or in another data center located far away from the first. Therefore, every day, even if hundreds of hard drives crash in a data center, it has no impact on our data because it has been duplicated. As our digital memories become mobile, transitory, its volume continues to grow and data centers proliferate.
We are generating an ever-increasing amount of information, knowledge, and the question raised is obviously whether this information, this knowledge, will be available in 50 years, in 100 years. Will a researcher or university professor 100 years from now be able to study the internet of the early 21st century? And what will be available? Will we still have the internet? Will we still have a trace of all of that?
With the internet constantly enlarged by the data centers, information is now in flux. The web is changing all the time. Pages appear every second, while others disappear. What method can be used so that future generations can consult this memory that has become ephemeral and transitory? After ensuring the conservation of French television and radio archives, the INA, the Institut National de l'Audiovisuel, now has the delicate mission of archiving internet traffic from all the French sites involved in this sector. IT engineers in the Internet Archive Department are sorting these sites and storing them page by page.
Each web page consists of numerous elements that produce the display, including texts, images, codes, and display elements. For example, this web page consists of nearly 200 objects. All these objects can be modified over time, expanded, destroyed. Our mission is to visit each page as regularly as possible, because if we merely captured one given moment of a website, we would not get an accurate idea of its dynamic, its evolution, how it is updated, how information is added over time. If I use the metaphor of a film, we try to capture not 24 images per second, but 20 images per day, to film, to capture an overview of the websites.
At any moment, someone may add a comment, another attach an image, a third include a link, and so on, in a constantly evolving environment. Storing the internet is a colossal task. The IT staff at the INA uses web robots. 25 times a day, they fetch all the images, texts, and audio files on each page of each of the 10,000 websites they follow. The internet flow is therefore captured via a series of snapshots. In 5 years, the INA engineers have gathered 25 billion files, including 7 billion web pages. This fragmented memory stored on tape will be available to historians and researchers who will one day take a look back on the world as it is today. Their job will be even more complex, in that the internet is certainly going to continue to expand all the time. Here, each site is symbolized by a point. This representation of the internet illustrates a complexity that looks similar to match what we know about the universe. The total number of existing websites reached the 1 billion mark in 2014.
A historian 1,000 years from now studying the early 21st century will have an inconceivable quantity of information available. It will therefore be much harder to sort through it and make any sense of it, given such a profusion of data.
Do we run the risk of disappearing given this immensity?